This video is brought to you by Greenworks 24-volt Power All Tools. When we moved into this house, our daughter was not quite yet 2 years old, so her clothes were tiny. This builder-grade wire shelving in her closet has served us well for the past 10 years, but she's a lot bigger now, so her clothes are starting to drag on the floor. It's 10:30 in the morning, and I'm going to try to redo her entire closet with custom shelving in just one day, and stay tuned to the end of the video to get a full cost breakdown. Wire shelving like this has been around for a long time, and chances are you have some of it in your home. I've had some success putting it on Marketplace for free, and that way it stays out of a landfill. It's okay, but I think we can do better. Removing it is really easy. You just pop the shelves off of the anchors, and then you need a flathead screwdriver and some pliers to take the anchors out of the drywall. The screwdriver pries out the 1-inch nail out of the anchor, and then you can easily remove the anchor from the drywall. These are reusable and should make the install a little easier if I can give this unit to someone else, so I collected all of the pieces and saved them in a bag. You'll have a bunch of holes to fill, so I'm using 5-minute hot mud, which dries really fast and is perfect for small patch jobs like this. Most of these holes will be covered by the new shelves, so I'm not going to worry about sanding them smooth or even painting them, but you can do that if you want to, and if you don't mind potentially stretching this into another day. With the holes filled, I started to map out the closet. It's a little over 10 feet wide, so I'm putting a main support piece in the middle. She'll have 2 levels for hanging clothes on the left side, and then another section on the right side for some longer items and some storage bins. On top, there will be 2 shelves for more storage, which I've learned over the years that we can't really have enough of, especially with a teenage daughter. For the closet system, I'm using melamine sheets that measure 16 inches wide, 8 feet long, and 3/4 of an inch thick. For this project, I'll need 6 of them, and they run about $30 a piece in my area. It would have been a little cheaper to use plywood sheets, but I would have had to take the time to cut them down to size, and also would have needed to paint them or seal them. Since I'm trying to do all of this in one day, I opted for the melamine instead. For this centerpiece, I notched out a small section at the bottom so that it can avoid hitting the baseboard and fit snugly against the wall, and it's just going to be held in place with a simple brad nail for now. Each closet rod is going to span about 5 feet, and even though they're heavy duty, I wanted to make sure that they could hold plenty of weight, so I'm using one of these brackets in the middle of each rod. I used it as a marking tool to know exactly where the rod will hit the wall, and that also helped me to know how wide I needed to make the shelf supports. In this case, that was about 4 inches, and to secure them, I used construction adhesive and 16-gauge brad nails right into the studs. This top shelf isn't going to hold much weight, so I'm not worried about screws or anything stronger at this point. It's a little hard to tell from this angle, but the side supports come out 16 inches to support a full sheet of melamine, and there will be about 8 inches worth of space before the front of the wall of the closet, and then another 14 inches or so to the ceiling. These supports then hold that centerpiece from moving out of plumb while I build the rest of the closet, and they also cover a bunch of those patched up holes from the wire shelving. At this point, I'm about 2 hours into this project and feeling pretty confident that I can get this done before dinner time. Since this top shelf spans 10 feet, I'm using 2 of the melamine sheets cut down to 5 feet each. I like to shave down a small amount of the corners to make up for the drywall mud and corner bead that can build up on inside corners, so the shelf can fit somewhat snugly against the wall. I don't need it to be perfect, but I want it to look at least somewhat professional. I secured the top shelf to the middle piece of the supports with construction adhesive and brads, and once it cures, it will be really solid. When using melamine like this, I try not to leave any exposed particle board edges, so to conceal them, I got some iron-on edge banding. Any of the edges that are going to be exposed to the naked eye get this treatment, and it gives whatever you're building a much more finished look. After a couple of seconds under the hot iron, the glue activates, and then you just trim the edges with a razor blade, or they also sell a tool that makes things a lot easier if you're doing a lot of this. I secured the closet rod bracket to the wall and then more of the 4-inch supports using glue and brads, only this time I'm also securing them with 2.5-inch cabinet screws. This section is what's going to be holding all of the weight of the clothes, so I want it to be really strong. I continued the supports along the side using the same method as before with glue, brad, and screws, and then I secured the shelf in place the same way as before, only this time I screwed it into the middle bracket as well, again making it a really solid structure, capable of holding a lot of weight. Be sure to take your time to locate the studs and then use a good quality drill to drive those screws, ensuring a strong connection. This is a great time to tell you more about the sponsor of this video, and that's the Greenworks PowerAll 24-volt tool system. I've joked around before that committing to a cordless tool brand is on par with a marriage proposal, and Greenworks does a great job of offering over 200 indoor and outdoor tools so you can stay committed for years to come. This is a budget-friendly product line sold both online and at your local Walmart stores, so access to these tools is super easy. Not only do they serve as a great entry point for first-time tool buyers, but they're also suited for experienced DIYers like me, and their brushless motors allow them to stand up to daily use from pros as well. Brushless motors allow these tools to deliver 2 times more torque and up to 35% longer run times compared to typical 20-volt systems. At 24 volts, Greenworks PowerAll offers the best power to weight ratios in the industry, and if that's not enough, they offer a 5-year tool warranty to back this all up. I got a good sense of the lightweight feel of these tools, and I can tell that they're comfortable to use as well. They feel powerful and well made, but your forearms won't be on fire by lunchtime. This random orbital sander feels really good, so next time I make a bunch of end grain cutting boards, I'll be putting it to the test. I've used half a dozen different cordless tool systems, and for the price, I think Greenworks is going to be hard to beat. This is just the selection at my local Walmart, so check them out at the one near you or go online to see some of their other tools. I decided to buy the drill and driver kit, and for $85, I think I got an absolute steal. This kit comes with a carrying bag, a 10-inch level, utility knife and replacement blades, some pliers, a 24-volt battery, a tape measure, a bunch of drill bits, and of course the drill. Not only are these all must-have tools for someone just starting out, but they're also things that I can always use more of. Had I bought these items individually, I would have spent $150 easy, maybe even more. I also really like the battery system that Greenworks has developed here because it uses a USB-C to both charge itself and then also to charge your devices as well. I've never seen a battery that has bi-directional power like that, and since I'm filming everything I build, I no longer need to worry about my phone or cameras running out of juice. I'll link to the Greenworks PowerAll system in the description below, and I can't wait to try out some more of these tools. Thanks Greenworks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the closet build. Since the second and third bays get built the exact same way as the first, I'm going to use a little YouTube movie magic to move that process along. Okay, now on to installing the actual hanging rods, and I'm using 6-foot lengths that I got from Home Depot and cutting them to size using a hacksaw. These are 1 1/4 inches and they're pretty heavy duty, which I prefer since we put a lot of weight on them and I've had hanging rods fall in the past. I use the middle bracket to support the rod while I mark out the correct location of the end caps, being sure that they're the same height and distance on each side. This ensures that the rod is both level and parallel to the back wall so the clothes all hang appropriately. One end cap is a closed circle and the other is open so that the rod fits securely and needs to be maneuvered a certain way for it to come out. I like to cut it about 3/8 of an inch short so it has plenty of room to drop in, but it doesn't fall out when it slides left or right. Okay, quick time check. It's 3:46, so my job here is done, and my wife and daughter are going to get this closet restocked before dinner. And now here for the full cost breakdown. To build this custom closet, I used 6 sheets of melamine that cost me $32 each. The 3 closet rods each cost $25, and the 3 end caps were $13 each, and brackets were each $12. Throw in a tube of construction adhesive and tacks, and this project cost just about $400. So there you have it, a one-day custom closet build, and this is such a better use of the space. I hope you got some inspiration or some confidence from this video, and I'm super thankful to Greenworks for helping me complete this project. I'm also super thankful to you for watching, so be sure to leave me a comment and subscribe for more DIYs, and I'll see you all on the next one.